Welcome back to chapter 7 of The Demon of Death.
Oh my god,
The
guys.
love, and blessings.
Wonder what they're blessing.
Yeah, that's a good question. Author's note. Hey guys, sorry I haven't updated in a while. I've been very preoccupied, so I've not been able to type up more chapters. But now I'm back and rearing to go.
How dare you?
Anyhow, on to chapter 7. Disclaimer: the Crash series is not mine. What? Hold on. Did we miss this?
I think this is a new development in the story. I think
Yeah, all
this
right.
changes the way we're gonna read it from now on, I think.
All right. Jack sighed for a moment.
Sighing again.
The first thing, really. That's how you know he's roaring to go.
Oh,
The
yeah.
author.
Well,
Jack sighed for a moment as he glanced at the two rings on the table. He could feel tears welling up in his eyes as a painful memory resurfaced. You have to tell them, Diane said to her son, trying to help numb the pain he, and by extension, she experienced as well.
Okay, I have two things to say. First of all, has the mom's name been established as Diane already? It's been a while since I've read this.
Yes,
Okay, it has
yes,
been.
yeah.
Also, I just like how help try to numb the pain he and by extension she experienced as well. Which
It's all about
again,
him.
yeah, completely recentering the whole thing back on him. Ugh.
Jack shook his head, muttering, I know, before he spoke in unshakable conviction. Spoke with unshakable conviction. I will tell them everything, but this time I'll make sure that I never go through that tragedy ever again. Diane smiled at her son proudly, placing a hand on his shoulder as she did so. Good. Then she trailed off.
Of course. Ugh.
As she took hold the rings out again.
Oh, it's
I'll
again.
hold on to them until the time is right. You know,
Basically
she said,
tomorrow, you know.
giving her son a knowing smile before following him back into the house. Jack noticed everyone giving him concerned looks, more so Coco because of obvious reasons.
Come on. It's so late.
He just smiled as he sat down to address the group. What's wrong, guys? You seem kind of down. This is just so stupid.
Well, I mean, obviously,
Hold
Jack walks
on.
back to the room for 1 second and everybody pays attention to him again. I mean, I doubt they were
He's
doing
like,
anything interesting before. They were probably just sitting around waiting for Jack to come back. It's not like they have lives
Crash.
or interests outside him. Anyways.
Crash spoke for the group, speaking what was on each of their minds. You were out there for a while, and we were getting a little worried. Jack just nodded as he began to speak. Well, guys, there is something I should explain. That is literally the only thing that Jack has done this entire story, is just explain. So what a freaking surprise. Oh, and guess what the next line is? He trailed off trying to find the right words
Of
for the
course, of
inevitable
course.
question that he was going to get from this. From the inevitable questions he was going to get from this. Oh, of course, he's just expecting
I'm
so
so.
much interest and so much
I'm
he's
glad
just
this.
such an interesting person.
I'm glad this character is still really humble.
Aku Aku spoke then, seemingly reading the boy's mind. What do you mean? That does not seem like they're reading the person's mind if he's asking is in that person's mind. Just gonna say that. The Tiki Guardian asked quizzically. So Aku Aku's saying Well, guys, there's something I need to explain. He's saying, what do you mean to that thing? Like, that's pretty self-explanatory, dude. I should explain something. Like, why does the Tiki need clarification? Why, Jack? Whatever. This is so freaking dumb. I'm sorry. Jack then spoke carefully as to not freak his friends out.
He's like,
Uh,
I'm sure he thinks really highly.
well, there's an assumption of importance in everything he does.
Well, of course. And that he's so much of a superior person. I mean, he doesn't want to shock them too bad, the inferior specimens, you know.
This isn't the first time you've all come to live here with my family. Oh, snap. Crash then cut him
Crazy.
off, looking a little annoyed. Wait, what do you mean, the first time? Crash asked before getting lightly punched in the shoulder by an irritated Coco. Crash, hush, let him speak. Yeah, that's right, freaking Crash. Let him fully speak, you know. Don't interrupt this Jack as he explains things. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, come on, Crash. It's not your fucking franchise.
The girl said, making Jack nod and thanks, because, you know, such an inconvenience, really.
Yeah.
Before
I'm
clearing
barely
his
asking
throat.
questions that he knew they were gonna ask anyways.
Sorry. All right. Before clearing his throat, ahem. Now, as I was saying, the world we're now in is in its second iteration. That is an extension of what that is not what you were saying. Well, all right, I guess so. He then trailed off. Of course he did. As Aku Aku spoke for the group. Speaking for the group? Really? Is that the next? You know, that's another phrase. Have we notified? Have you noticed that Gabe spoke for the group a lot?
Yeah, I guess
No.
so. I mean, it's not like they have individual personalities.
He then trailed off as Aku Aku spoke for the group, asking what they were all thinking. What happened to the first? Jack closed his eyes momentarily before responding. It was destroyed. Coco then spoke with a sense of unease about her. What caused it to be destroyed? I don't think that. Okay. She asked, flinching a bit, as Jack gave her a look of grim seriousness. I caused it.
Animal I have become. Uh,
Noticing the look of confusion on his friends' faces, he began to elaborate, as he's done for the entire fanfiction. During the first incarnation, it happened. Yeah, you really think that, like, the first incarnation being destroyed happened during the first incarnation? Go figure.
yeah.
Oh, man. Flashback. I'm glad we had to emphasize that.
Oh, heck
There's like
yeah, dude.
big capital letters, flashback with line page breaks on either side. On a nice spring day, Jack was waiting for the woman he loved to walk down the aisle so they could exchange their vows and join together in holy matrimony. Luckily, he didn't have to wait very long as the door to the church swung open and the piano began playing. Then she appeared, making Jack's heart suddenly burst. Like a heart attack? Darn, that sucks.
I do like how they imply that Jack and Crash's family are Christians. They're getting married in
What,
holy
you-
matrimony.
You're surprised that he happens to be Catholic, Game?
He happens to be Catholic, of course.
They're standing alongside Crash. Oh, that's just a reference to another fan fiction later to come.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully. They're standing alongside Crash, who was acting as the father. Okay. Walking his daughter down the aisle was Coco wearing a white wedding dress and veil that seemed to match her perfectly. Whatever you say, author. Nothing was said between the two as they faced each other at the altar, their hearts filled with love for each other. It was then that Aku Aku spoke as the preacher/minister. Did you, Jack, swear to love and cherish Coco? Do you think the author has like some sort of crush on Coco, by the way? Are you getting that impression like that she's his waifu?
Dude, that would be completely degenerate. Why would he think that?
Yeah, never mind. Do you, Jack, swear to love and cherish Coco, to have and hold her in holy matrimony in sickness and in health, for as long as you both live? Jack nodded. I do.
Really?
That
Does
would be
he?
really funny. That would be really funny if it was like Jack nodded. I do. Let me explain why.
Let me explain why. I think you need to know their reasons why I
In
would choose to marry someone.
excruciating detail. No, no, he wouldn't. He wouldn't actually explain why he chose to marry Coco. He would explain why Coco chose to marry him. Gabe, you're getting it wrong.
No, he would say he would explain and then let every other character ask him pointless questions. And then explain that.
Aku, then turned to Coco. And do you, Coco, swear to love and cherish Jack, to hold and to have and hold him in holy matrimony in sickness and in health, for as long as you both shall live? Coco nodded. I do. This is very necessary, by the way, in this whole backstory.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, he needs to play out his
Aku nodded.
fantasy somehow, so...
Aku nodded before addressing the guest. Now, before I continue, is there anyone who feels differently that these two shall not be wed? He asked, receiving no response at all.
Do I count?
You know, because they're perfect. Yeah, yeah. Do I count, author? I object to this. First off, you're two different species, and one's a living being in the real world, and one's like in a fictional franchise of a video game. There's many questions I have.
I think you should go see Real Women, Jack. This isn't healthy to live out your fantasies in a fan fiction of a video game.
Now he'll just make them cosplay as Coco, and he'll like do scripted things from this fan fiction.
He'll write a script where they all ask him questions about how cool he is.
And then, by the power vested in me, I pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride. And so Jack did, lifting his new wife's veil and kissing her passionately. But then tragedy struck. You know, it couldn't have happened before then. With Coco falling into Jack's arms before dying from being shot in the back. Jack shook with barely controlled rage. No, no, I can't lose you now.
Like how it's written like a really poorly written daytime soap opera.
That is if you've noticed, Gabe, that's exactly his intention, Gabe, with like the whole trying to be dramatic to lead to something, but like
all I think of is
whatever.
Futurama, where they have the robot, the All My Circuits, where they parody that
Yes.
shit. This is written exactly
Yes.
like that.
No. Oh my god. Oh my god, yes. I can't lose to you now. I can't lose to you now. Oh my god. I can't lose you now. His body went stiff as his white eye was replaced with a black one to match the other. Before his body went completely ablaze with black flames, looking more like a demon instead of a burning skeleton. Who
That's so cool.
did this? He roared out before his eyes settled on Cortex.
Oh, he was just
still
there
had
the
the
whole time.
Yeah, no one noticed him just sort of standing there with his gun.
Well, he was invited to the wedding. He's a close family friend.
Oh yeah, you're right. He roared out before his eyes settled on Cortex, who still had burning blaster in his hand. Jack pointed a clawed hand. Oh, he has claws on his hand?
Well, he's cool. Why wouldn't a cool person
right.
have claws on his hands?
Yeah. Do you like the fact that Cortex, by the way, to reference to chapter 1, and I think we talked about the first video slightly, do you like the fact that, like, Cortex was the one that killed his supposed wife, and in the first chapter he's like, who's this Cortex fella?
Yes. I guess pretends not to know him. You know, it
Well, he
could
had
be
to make
sloppy
himself
writing.
look cool, and I kind of get the feeling he just sort of wrote things as it went along. Jack pointed a clawed hand at Cortex, giving him a full view of his bloodlust. You killed her.
Damn.
Flashback end. Oh, okay. Then why did the universe end? You didn't explain that.
Well, that's it, man.
Well,
You don't need
he's
to
going to. With my bloodlust unchained, I sent the world into chaos. I'm glad you're specifying it like this. Like you're like, oh, by the way, then the world ended.
Yeah, the world ended. I think that reflects really well on your personality.
Like literally, like it's like the world ended was how we started this flashback, and then it ended with oh, and then the world ended. Like he
Yeah,
didn't actually
he doesn't even
explain in his
explain what he's
flashback.
like supposed to be explaining.
The only thing that that flashback was doing was to explain that he and Coco were married in another dimension, and Coco killed his wife.
Yeah.
Oh my god. With my bloodlust unchained, I sent the world into chaos and ruin. Then I realized where I went wrong. Yeah, just after that.
Yeah,
And
well,
I
you know, you
reset
made like
the
an
world.
oopsie.
I reset the world by making the world go through an artificial Big Bang. That is not how
What the
the Big
trash?
Bang worked.
Okay. I kind of forgot
And
that element of he made the world go through an artificial Big Bang. What the fuck does that even mean?
like he literally destroyed the entire universe essentially, then created the universe again with a Big Bang, which would then go about making a second Earth, I'm assuming.
He did that
And
artificially, though. So first
yeah,
of
I
all,
guess,
so first of all, he can manufacture, like he can basically create life in like a diff or like a universe.
he can both create and destroy the entire universe.
What the? That's so fucking stupid. That is
Yeah,
so
well,
dumb. I'm sorry, just the concept of creating an artificial Big Bang is like so stupid of a concept.
and if you really think about it, Gabe, the funniest thing about this method of creation, if it's first starting from the Big Bang, you do realize how long it took from the Big Bang to get to here. Did he also speed up time? Did he also manage to destroy and create the universe while being outside the universe somehow?
Does that
There's
mean
so
he's
many different
God?
questions. Like, he literally is God, Gabe. If he
Yeah, like
literally
if he
created the entire
manufactured the
universe, he
creation of
literally
the
is
current
God.
universe, yeah.
My goodness. This is beyond my level of comprehension, Gabe. This is so my goodness. Any more thoughts before we continue? This like briefly mentioned like subsection of his explanation that was supposed to just be glanced over without second thought.
Yeah, I was gonna maybe point out something earlier on, but I don't really want to read earlier in this story, so you can just continue.
Yeah, so he's God. All right. Any more questions, Gabe?
Yeah, you don't need to
All right,
question the
great.
fact that he's literally God.
Literally.
He destroyed the universe and then recreated the universe just so he could be with his waifu.
He also is that powerful. Like, if he's that powerful, why doesn't he just like? I
If he
don't know,
can
I feel like there's
manufacture
lot
a Big Bang, why can't he fucking prevent Cortex from being born?
Why did he have to just stand around doing absolutely nothing as a mad animal just destroyed their island
Where the fuck
and
even
blame it
were
on
they when
Crash?
that was happening? I forget.
They were on the I thought they were on the beach having like food or at the house I thought there was something like that.
Well,
By
no,
the way,
they like throw the thing, and then it's implied that they like come back and see that he's destroyed their house. So where
you know
were
what I
they?
also find kind of funny? You know what I
What?
also find kind of funny aside from where were they?
Mm-hmm.
This is absolutely precious. So, remember the fact in this story, they said this is not the first time that they lived at his mother's house. Okay?
Yeah.
So, that implies that they got to the same sort of situation where I'm assuming Tiny destroyed their house and the other thing. So, when Jack threw that ball of yarn to distract Tiny, he knew what was going to happen. So he literally purposefully, I would assume, destroyed their house and blamed it on Crash in that
Dude,
chapter.
yeah, that makes that chapter even worse because they really do make it seem like it's all Crash's fault. That is that is just awful.
Oh my goodness. And he somehow can't destroy Cortex despite being as powerful as destroying the entire universe and creating it.
Yeah,
There are
there's just no
so many
excuse for this.
questions.
Dude, well, this
There
is
are
what
so
happens
many
when you make
questions.
your character super way too overpowered, like in this story, is that you just question, like, why can't they solve every issue in the entire story if they can create an artificial Big Bang and, like, recreate the entire world?
My goodness, I call it the Superman effect, where you have a story where a character is just so freaking powerful that they're able to just the conflict boils down to, will Superman be there? Will X character just be there to immediately solve the problem? Or
That or they
furthermore,
just
the
come off
question
looking like
comes,
a horrible person because they can clearly prevent all these problems and just choose not to.
yes, that's what I mean. Like, why is there even conflict in the first place at some points? Well, I don't know. It's not exactly super. It's just a little bit better written than this, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh my freaking god. I I'm just gonna we're gonna continue on, I would assume, but I very much expect that this particular plot development and what we've read so far essentially retcons everything prior
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
to the point where Jack was a very manipulative person,
Well,
like very clearly.
to be honest, this even gets worse, I think, with the whole Coco dynamic. I think we'll get into that either this chapter or next chapter.
Yeah. All right. That must be what caused you to come. Oh, sorry. I just forgot one thing. Why does his mom know? Why does Jack's mom even know about anything in the first place?
Actually, yeah, that's a good question. Are they like
He said
remnants of the previous universe, or are they
he
completely
destroyed
recreated as
the
well?
he reset the world, quote unquote. And furthermore, it was introduced that when they were meeting his mother that he hadn't seen them in a while or something like that.
But they said, but in that chapter, it was like, well, it's been like a whole year since you visited me. So clearly they knew each other at some point.
Oh yeah. I'm tired of it. This is gonna
Yeah.
turn into that Sans thing where you just talk about the metaphysical world about the story.
Yeah, alright, let's just continue this.
That must be what caused you to come crashing into the beach at our old home. Aku Aku muttered. That's what he had to
Wait,
question? That didn't
what?
even come into my mind whatsoever.
Wait, hold on. Okay, we're gonna backtrack a little bit. So the thing that caused him to crash home was him recreating the Big Bang? Is that what it's trying to imply?
Yes.
So he... You know what, fuck this. I'm just not even gonna go into this. This is... We can literally talk about this for like 2 hours because this is so shitty. Let's just
This is like the
continue.
biggest plot hole of any fan fiction I've seen for a long time. Aku Aku muttered thoughtfully. Thoughtfully, yeah, I'm sure. Jack just nodded in agreement. Yeah, well, when I crashed into your beach, I recognized Coco instantly and promised myself that I'd never lose you guys again, especially my loving wife.
Really fucking weird way to talk to somebody who she's known for about, what, 2 days at this point?
Yeah, as soon as he saw Coco, as soon as he saw Coco, he was like, "Okay, let's introduce each other like we never met before." And now he's trying to subtly manipulate her to like, I
Falling
don't know,
in
it's
love
just
with me, yeah.
super weird. Super freaking weird. I think it would have been less weird if this was just the first incarnation. We just didn't care about the second incarnation trash.
Yeah, really.
Jack said, smiling as he took one of Coco's hands in his.
Dude.
Yeah, now it's expected of Coco to just be his wife now, by
Oh,
the
of
way.
course. Well,
We're not going to address this. They're just going to be husband and wife, period. No further questions.
I mean, yeah. Really brings
Diane.
into question the autonomy of these characters. But let's continue.
Diane chose to speak. Well, I'm glad she has that much free will. Then, then startling the group for a moment. Well, I'm happy you all know the truth of what happened, but that brings up the next question. What would that be? Coco asked before Diane, smiling at her, pulling out the ring she had taken earlier. Are you willing to make? Are you willing to do anything to make sure a tragedy like that never happens again?
By
Crash
marrying
nodded
him.
immediately, shouting,
Sorry.
wasn't that what caused the tragedy, them marrying? Otherwise, why would you start the scene at like that particular whatever? Who cares? Crash imme- nodded immediately, shouting, Heck yeah! Crunch not holy smokes, Crunch nodded?
Damn, he's back. Again, I don't
Dude,
think
was the
Crunch
whole
has had a single line of spoken dialogue. Chapter 7 out of
dude,
10.
my headcanon is that Crush was actually not destroyed in the reset and restart of the universe and had seen too many things and just chooses not to speak
He just chooses not to speak.
at this like supposed god devil figure
He's
manipulating
just
everyone.
scared of him at this point.
I mean, technically, one of the big physics theories the Big Crunch. Crunch is his name.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, there you go. There's the connection.
Yeah.
That's game theory. That right now, fan fiction theory.
Yeah,
It's her
fiction theory.
third channel. Fan fiction theory. Crunch nodded, as well as making Aku Aku smile. It's like a comedy mask.
Yeah.
Then all eyes fell on Koku, who looked a little uneasy.
Everybody
Oh
just
my
looks at
goodness, she's
Coco
actually
like,
questioning it?
damn. You're not
Yeah,
gonna
they're
marry
giving
this guy you
expectations on
barely
Coco.
met just because he told you that. Like, really? How? I guess you've seen like how super powerful he is, so I guess you might believe him. But like, if some random person just came up to you and told you like, yeah, you're actually like the second incarnation of this universe, and I destroyed the last one, like, would you actually like believe him?
Well, I would if I was living at his mother's place.
Oh
And
yeah.
also, like if Coco said no here, think of what Jack would do to her.
Think of how sad Jack would be, and think of how Jack reacted the last time he was denied being married to this furry character.
Yes, and also think about how disappointed everyone would be, man. Like
Everybody would be disappointed.
shamed, shunned out of the Crash Bandicoot family for not marrying OC character number 47. I'm not sure. I've always been more of a brains over bronze kind of girl. But not as much as Jack. He's smarter. Hearing this, Jack grabbed her hand, squeezing her, squeezed, giving her a clear view of his eyes, which, like the spooky witch,
Oh yeah,
looked to be saying unspoken words.
yeah.
And those unspoken words were, Please do this, Coco. I can't bear losing you again. Not after the last time.
Just completely not like self-absorbed at all.
Seeing that Coco sighed before nodding, Okay, I'll do it. I'll get stronger. Cue the training arc.
Uh,
Diane nodded before bringing her closed hand over to her son and daughter-in-law. Yeah, it's just official now.
yeah. God, I
No
hate
questions. Showing the rings. I believe these are yours. Jack nodded before looking to Coco, asking, You want to just take the ring, or do you want us to build up a relationship again?"
this. Yeah, no third option in that. You can either be my wife now, or we could basically be husband and wife, but you just don't wear a wedding ring.
No, what it's essentially saying is like you want to actually like healthily build up a relationship and just sort of accepting that we're in a relationship already without
Yeah.
your knowledge or
Yeah,
like
yeah, of course.
whatever. I'll go with whatever you choose, Coco. I'm sure you will, Jack. I'm sure you will. Jack said, giving his wife a loving smile.
I think it's just
It should have
referring
been.
to
It should
his
have been.
wife. Ugh.
It should have been a knowing smile.
A
It was
knowing
written correctly.
smile. Ugh.
Coco shook her head, laughing a little. Ha ha ha. I think it's sweet that you feel that way, but I think it would be better if we take the rings and build the relationship as we go. What, you mean like become wife and husband and build up a relationship? I don't think that works like that, Coco. Jack laughed a bit. Ha ha ha. But agreed nonetheless. Fair enough. Wasn't that literally one of his? So he's like, take the rings or build a relationship. And he's like, I want to take the rings and build a relationship.
Yeah, that's
Okay, I
great.
see. He trailed off as he put one of the rings on her finger, and she put the other on his. How about we go to eat tonight? Diane asked, as she glanced around the clock, which read, like the plant, I guess. No, never mind. 6 p.m. Wow, it's that late already? Coco shouted in confusion as Jack chuckled a little bit. Well, my story did take a while to explain. So they were having breakfast, and he said all that, and then somehow got to 6 p.m.
There's no way.
No offense, author. Yeah, no offense, author, but I actually cannot understand how you could possibly extend the story that we just read, that even if the flashback was given the most hyper detailed explanations possible of the wedding scene, which would be incredibly creepy to be honest. No. Like, could you imagine that Jack was actually just like for hours explaining in intricate detail that wedding scene?
I'm sure the author would like to do that. Just describe in immaculate detail him getting married to his waifu.
And then, by the way, this is with the reveal that like that Jack and Coco were married in the previous incarnation. So him explaining in complete and utter detail would be the first thing that. Yeah, whatever. I'm continuing. I'm sorry. I get caught up on this story because there's just so many hooks to just keep you back.
Dude,
not reading it.
This chapter is like the most like balls out like fucking worst chapter maybe.
It's like the Sonic Adventure 2 of like the.
It's the Sonic
the
Adventure
fan
2 of fan fiction. Yeah.
Coco shouted in confusion as Jack chuckled a little bit. Well, my story did take a while to explain. Crash nodded a bit before saying, Sure, let's go out and celebrate. We can even celebrate your birthday, too. Coco gasped as she realized what her brother was talking about. He's right. With all the stuff that happened lately, I forgot today was my birthday. Wow.
Wow.
So I hate to get caught up on this, but literally Jack spent the entire of Coco's birthday explaining in intricate detail of their marriage that she had no memory of. Completely self-centered of the fact that it was just all about him and his story.
Also compounded onto the fact that they've been married, so there's no way Jack doesn't know that this was her birthday either.
Yes.
And he just didn't even bother to bring it up or like have any sort of like compassion in that regard.
They spent the entire of Coco's birthday explaining Jack's intricate and tragic backstory, which he does not have according to chapter 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god, this story is a precious gem.
Dude.
Oh my god. With that, everyone decided to head out for dinner. However, when they got there, Crash saw what he thought he would never see ever again. Tawna? Crash? That's just finish.
I love how
Yeah.
rushed that is at the end. It's like, oh, they just arrive and they see someone. Like, okay, great, yeah.
The author's head, by the way, I'm pretty sure the author's headspace here was, oh shoot, I need to give it like a plot twist or some sort of cliffhanger.
Yeah. Except that has
Mm.
nothing to do with the rest of the chapter, and it's just so, like, lazily explained that it has no impact at all.
I'm also slightly confused that this chapter is called Love and Blessings.
Yeah, that does not make
It
sense at
really
all.
it really emphasizes the fact that this entire chapter purpose was to emphasize that Jack and Coco were married in the previous. That's literally it.
Yeah, pretty
In fact,
much.
if I'm understanding this canonically, it was so important he explained it for literal hours.